What is next for Somalia? Let's go to Ndimyake and Mwakalyelye for reaction. Dimi?
Well, thank you very much, Vincent. And to discuss that further, we're joined here in studio by Jennifer Cooke, who is the director of the Africa program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. And we're so happy to have you on our show.
Ndimyake. Thanks.
So you're looking at the situation in Somalia. The conference has just ended. $400 million have reportedly been raised. How do you see this conference really helping to set Somalia on that path that it needs to be on?
Well, as noted, I mean, this is a significant opportunity for Somalia. It's not the first. Others have passed us by. But it is probably the most important, I think, in the 20 years. You have this a government that has some legitimacy among the Somali people, AlShabaab marginalized, Somalis tired of being in constant conflict. And I think it's important for this conference to kind of set the tone of momentum now and getting the international community engaged on this for the longer term and taking advantage of the opportunity that there is.
Now, what do you make of the fact that both leaders, both the Prime Minister Cameron and President Mohamud, were really pushing the fact that if you leave Somalia unresolved, it's not just a national problem for Somalia, it's really worldwide, spreading all the way to even Britain through extremism and mass migration. So does that message kind of really make it, or at least beg for a bigger response?
Well, that certainly has piqued U.S. interest over the years, and the potential spillover from Somalia, whether it's in piracy, whether it's in radicalism, in Kenya and Uganda, attacks in Kenya and attacks in Uganda, possibility of attacks against the U.S. and this radicalization, and then the humanitarian cost of what's been going on in Somalia really since 1993.
All these years.
And so, yeah, I think the fear is that if the international community doesn't take advantage now in helping rebuild security, rebuild those institutions, rebuilding the trust that the government enjoys among Somali people, that's on the Somali government, it's going to be an opportunity gone by, and you're just going to see this cycle continue and into the years ahead.
Now, you met President Mohamud, and obviously he's got the opportunity to really start Somalia off on a clean slate, depending on what he sees as this is the relevant way to go. Security, big issue. Source of it, AlShabaab, at least in Somalia. What do you see as the way forward with that? You know, they'd been talking in the past about engaging AlShabaab, or should they just continue to try to crush it?
Well, there may be some elements of AlShabaab that may be more amenable to some kind of eventual settlement. Right now, they are getting marginalized, and you want to perhaps disaggregate the leaders and the kingpins and the drivers from kind of the rank and file who may be amenable to be brought in. That's a difficult, delicate process.
Can he do it?
That's a big question that remains right now. The other thing is building the capacity of the Somali security forces to deal with those. And more than just the training of competent professional troops is embedding them within an institutional structure that has civilian oversight, accountability, and enforcement.
We don't have too much time left, but I want to talk about Somaliland and Puntland. They both did not attend the conference.
Yeah.
What do you see as the relevance of that and the complication and the challenges of addressing that issue?
Well, I think that may get pushed off into the future. The president's first task is to win some kind of credibility and legitimacy with the Somali people. Expectations are extremely high. He has a short honeymoon period to kind of prove the concept that something has changed. To tackle Somaliland right now and the big constitutional issues, that's going to be very divisive and difficult. So he has to build a base of credibility to then be able to tackle those big constitutional issues of how it all hangs together.
Very briefly, what time frame do you give this process of rehabilitation for Somalia, which has been in such a difficult journey?
Well, the rehabilitation process is going to take years, decades perhaps, but he has a short window of, I would say, a year or so to kind of prove to the Somali people that this is better than the alternative.
And that's from what we just saw on the package, there's some moves towards that, showing that there is progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks you.
Jennifer Cooke is the Africa Director, is the Program Director for Africa at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thank you so much.